My name is Maha, and if there's one truth life has taught me, it's this. Fate doesn't arrive gently. It arrives like a storm, and sometimes, you become the storm. I was never the loud one. Never the glamorous one. Never the girl who walked into rooms and made people stare. I was the opposite, the girl whose footsteps disappeared under the noise of everyone else's confidence. Quiet, observant, loyal to a fault. I did my job with dedication, even when nobody noticed. For 3 years, I worked at Sterling Dynamics, a company that liked to pretend it was modern and inclusive, even though half the leadership still believed quiet girls were meant for administrative work. I didn't argue. I just did my tasks, spreadsheets, analysis, strategies, all while watching louder, flashier people rise above me. And then came her. Alishba. The CEO's daughter. The kind of girl who walked like the floor belonged to her. Perfume expensive, heels sharp, attitude sharper. She entered the office on a Monday, the type of Monday that already feels heavy, holding a shiny iPad like it was a royal decree. Her eyes schemed the room, then landed on me. And she laughed. Not loudly. Not kindly. One of those small, poisonous laughs that say, "You don't belong here." She pointed at my brown, slightly worn handbag, the one I bought with my first paycheck. Ah, vintage? Or, thrift? Her friends giggled. That day, something in me froze. Not out of fear, I had dealt with worse. But because fate was shifting, silently, like a shadow behind me. I didn't react. I didn't defend myself. I just lowered my gaze and continued typing. But Alishba didn't stop. She began accidentally taking credit for my ideas. She called me background noise. She once whispered loudly during a presentation. Why does she talk like she's afraid of her own voice? Everyone laughed. No one defended me. Even the CEO ignored it, because when you're rich, accountability becomes optional. But what nobody knew was this. I wasn't powerless. I was patient. 2 years earlier, my late father had invested a large amount in Sterling Dynamics quietly, secretly, and those shares passed to me when he died. I never told anyone. I didn't want privilege. I wanted to grow on merit. But now things were crossing lines. Alishba became obsessed with proving I was incompetent. She asked me to redo reports 5 times. She deleted files I created. She humiliated me in front of clients. And then the breaking moment. During a major board meeting, I presented a development plan that I had worked on for months. It was flawless. Accurate. Strategic. Alishba raised her hand with a fake sweet smile. I'm sorry, but this report is childish. I don't think Maha understands our company vision. The room went silent. The CEO cleared his throat. He agreed with her. In front of everyone. I felt every ounce of my dignity collapse like cheap glass. I went home that day, sat in darkness, and asked myself, why am I letting people decide my worth? Why am I allowing humiliation when I have power they don't even know exists? And that night, the quiet girl decided to twist fate. The power they forgot I had. 2 days later, the board announced a sudden shareholder review. The CEO laughed it off, thinking it was a formality. But when the meeting began, and I walked into the room, files in hand, all eyes widened. Including his. I sat at the table reserved only for major investors. The CEO frowned. Alishba blinked in confusion. I placed my documents down gently. Good morning. My name is Maha Khan. I own 12% of this company. The room shifted. You could feel the tension crack like lightning. The CEO stuttered. That's impossible. I handed him the official share certificates. The ones signed by his own legal team years ago. Alishba's face drained of color. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I have observed repeated unethical behavior, I said softly. Bullying. Harassment. Sabotage. Favoritism. I placed printed evidence on the table. Emails. Messages. Deleted file logs. Everything she thought she was smart enough to hide. Her father looked horrified. The board reviewed the documents quietly. Then one of the oldest shareholders leaned back and said, "Her father built this company with integrity. His daughter is destroying it. I vote for immediate removal." The room voted one by one. Unanimous. Both the CEO and Alishba were removed. She stood up, shaking, eyes glowing with disbelief and rage. You did this." I met her eyes calmly. "Yes. You taught me something important. Being quiet isn't weakness. It's preparation." She stormed out of the room, slamming the door so hard the glass rattled. The twist of fate. The company appointed an interim CEO. I was offered the position of head of strategic operations, the job Alishba once said I wasn't smart enough to understand. On my first day in the new office, the same employees who laughed at me stood up when I entered. They saw me now. But I hadn't changed. I was still the quiet girl. Still the one who preferred listening over shouting. But now, they understood something. Quiet doesn't mean invisible. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet means focused. Fate didn't save me. I saved myself. And sometimes, the biggest revenge is simply sitting at the table where they never wanted you to be,